AZ Music Lover. Okay. James.
Namaste YouTube, welcome to Cafe Enoma and welcome to our reaction to Three Wooden Crosses by Randy Travis. This is for our patron AZ Music Lover and this is our first time single take on his reaction to this song. I like the title of this song, Three Wooden Crosses. This is my first time ever listening to Randy Travis. I've never ever heard his or listened to his music ever before.
Yeah, I have heard Randy Travis, though I don't remember much about his music. I do know that he has a phenomenal voice and his lyrics are, pretty insightful. He deals with personal issues of people, social issues, and some are fun songs too, I guess. So I do remember Randy Travis, but it was a long time ago, and at that time when I heard it, I also heard perhaps more than 1,000 other artists at that time of my life in those 10 years, between 1989 to 1999, 2000. So it's very difficult to remember all of them, but I'm sure this will refresh my memory when I hear it. So I think we can start it because there may be a lot to talk about from what I know. Three Wooden Crosses, the title itself talks about perhaps the three crosses that were there when Jesus was crucified on the cross.
Oh.
There were other two people next to him, the left of him, right of him.
Okay.
So perhaps it's a talk about that itself, a biblical reference, or it could be in reference to something in life, which I would pretty much appreciate if it's that.
Which resembled that.
Yeah, because if it's a biblical thing and it's something against it or something, that is something I usually do not tolerate. Anything spoken about my religion without any evidence or without any basis for what you say. So let's get started. Whether it's Randy Travis or not, I will not hold back. But I hope for the patron's sakes, for the sake of James from Arizona who loves music from the country of USA, the countryside, the southern music, the country music, I hope for his sake this is not that kind of a request or song. Let's get started. This is the first time single take honest reaction by both of us. I don't think I've heard this song, and if I have, I don't remember it. And definitely it's a pure reaction by Kirti, who's never heard Randy Travis in her life.
A farmer and a teacher, a hooker and a preacher, riding on a midnight bus bound for Mexico. One was headed for vacation, one for higher education, and two of them were searching for lost souls. That driver never ever saw the stop sign, 18-wheelers can't stop on a dime. There are three wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not four of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. That farmer left to harvest a home and 80 acres, the faith and love for growing things in his young son's heart. And that teacher left her wisdom in the minds of lots of children and did her best to give them all a better start. And that preacher whispered, "Can't you see the promised land?" as he laid his blood-stained Bible in that hooker's hand. There are three wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not four of them, heaven only knows. I guess it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. It's what you leave behind you when you go. That's the story that our preacher told last Sunday as he held that blood-stained Bible up for all of us to see. He said, bless the farmer and the teacher and the preacher who gave this Bible to my mama, who read it to me. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway. Why there's not 4 of them, now I guess we know. It's not what you take when you leave this world behind you, it's what you leave behind you when you go. There are 3 wooden crosses on the right side of the highway.
Wow, Kirti, what are your thoughts on this?
I love his voice.
I loved his voice.
Yes.
This is a masterpiece, isn't it?
Wow, his voice is amazing. It's got that depth. It's got that masculine, very heavy, very soothing, very charming voice. And I love the way he sang. He also reminded, because I have heard Brad Paisley, he reminded me of him as well, who's requested by the same patron of us. Wow, this was amazing. This is a song you can listen to anytime, anywhere, any moment, without any shame, without, all you will get is some lessons out of it every time you sit and listen to it.
And you know what? Something about this song, even though I'm hearing it the first time, the whole story unfolds right before my eyes while I'm listening to it. It is so clear what is going on.
Okay.
We just heard another song in the earlier reaction in this session where you can't picturize it.
No.
Even though you do understand what is being said, you can't picturize it. The beauty of this song is the songwriter, as well as where it's arranged and where it's sung, the simple tune, it's so simple to understand the words too. You easily know what it is about. There is a bus, there are few people on that bus, 4 of them mainly.
Yeah.
And this is their story. Unfortunately, there was a problem. They met with an accident, and then there were 3 crosses instead of 4 at the side of the highway. Now, what this is, Kirti, I'll explain to you very well.
Yes, I need an explanation.
In India, in Kerala and Goa, even the Northeast, where there are several Catholics, several Christians live in these parts of India.
Right.
Maybe a few millions of them, if I'm not mistaken. Even though we are a minority. And what happens is, whenever they die on the road, whether it's a bus accident, car accident, bike accident, which is very common in the state of Goa, a beautiful state, one of the most beautiful places in the world, if not the most beautiful. What happens is, wherever they die, they usually put up a cross that this person died here with their name and the day of birth and date of death, if they know it.
Right.
So what happened in this case is a similar thing I think is going on tradition in that part of America where Randy Travis is from. So wherever someone dies, they usually put up a cross, at that side of the road.
On the side of the road.
And you know who's the 4th cross. You don't really need to name the person in this story.
Right.
But the 4th cross is not put, and for reasons best known to all of us who understand religion and who understand what it means to practice the religion in a correct manner. So, the line that was the most hard-hitting though, forget about religion. If you leave aside religion, the line that is a life-changing line, it's not what you take when you leave this world behind you. I stopped it at that slide. It's what you leave behind you when you go. It's what you leave behind you when you go. That is what matters. Not what you have in this world when you're alive. It's what you leave behind that also matters. It matters more than what you had in your lifetime. And that is unfortunately what the 4th person whose cross was not put up didn't have.
I know.
So, when you have that belief in a higher power, in this case I believe in God, you believe in God too. When you believe in a higher power, your life purpose is guided by that power. No matter whether you go to church or the temple or the mosque or whichever religion you go to, synagogue, it doesn't matter. whether you go there or not. What matters is how you live your life today. And what you do, whether it impacts the life of many others in a meaningful manner. If it does not impact their lives in a meaningful manner, as it didn't, you could see the teacher had done a lot of good work.
Her
left a
legacy
lot of
was there
wisdom.
behind, yeah.
So the children obviously thought about her. You could think
Would
about
remember her.
you could think about the movie Coco over here. It is so brilliantly captured in
Yes,
Coco.
yes.
Incidentally, it's from Mexico, and here also the talk is about going to Mexico.
Yes.
So the thing is, in Coco it's shown so well. Whatever good deeds you do in your life,
People remember you by
people
that.
remember you by that. If you didn't do any good, if you weren't a good husband, a good father, a good son, no matter a good daughter, woman, a parent, mother, person in life, whether you were a teacher, an engineer, a doctor, whatever, if you weren't good, if your work, in other words, the work that you did in your life, even if you're a parent and a housewife, like Kirti for a couple of years or so was a housewife. After that, again, she started working in the business too. She in fact set it up for herself, this part of the business as well as the earlier part online. So, but in those 2 years also, her contribution, did it actually help us as a family? Did it help people around us? It certainly did, because our kids grew up, they're growing up to be such wonderful people. Many people neglect their kids. They keep going to work the next day. I totally disagree with that culture and philosophy that promotes that kind of,
Yeah.
I won't say ruthlessness, but apathy. You've given birth to a human being, a child, a baby. You must be
If
responsible
you
as a
don't
parent.
nurture it today, tomorrow you're not going to have a good contribution to the society through those members.
So here you can see it all comes back together. Kirti, what are your thoughts on this whole story? Let us hear a pure perspective for a change. I'm sure people living in the South and the Southwest and other parts of America who loved Randy Travis a lot more than any of us do in India. What is your analysis of this song? In your own words, leave aside the voice for now. Leave aside the music. Both were amazing. It was
Outstanding.
simple and outstanding,
Yes.
masterly done. What are your thoughts on the lyrics and the story?
One thing it reminded me of our reaction to Kansas a while ago now, a few months ago, Dust in the Wind. You know why it reminded me of that? Because in India, not only in Hindu religion, it was very, very famous earlier. Nowadays, I don't know, there is some sort of hodgepodge happening, there is some sort of confusion happening in the society because of the social media getting into the psyche of the people, of the generation, the current generation, the younger generation, as well as the generation before that also. My parents' generation also, the people who are there existing, they all have this social media clouding their brain and their thought and everything practically all the time. For some reason, it's a time when I don't like being as it is going on. But before this psyche came on to people, there were a lot of things, a lot of values which were passed on, which were circulated, which used to be spoken about. And one of them used to be people after dying also who remain immortal. And that's why it reminded me of Dust in the Wind. And I had used the word Amar in that reaction. And I explained what Amar means.
We could also throw in the reaction of Stratovarius Elysium just a couple of days ago.
Yes.
It was released on our channel. Do catch that reaction. We have spoken a lot about that there too. At least I did.
Yes. So the term Amar in Hindi is supposed to be immortal, but not when you live forever as a mortal being, but it is used for those people who after dying also the legacy is so huge, so gigantic, so big. Like people like Mahatma Gandhi, people like our freedom fighters, Bhagat Singh, and so many people. They are literally immortals in this country because people every single day remember them in some form or the other. They go through their names somewhere or the other. Our notes have, just like in USA, your notes have the presidents of America, their faces on it. So they become immortal because of the legacy they leave behind. And that's what I could see in those two lines. It's not about what you have taken when you leave this world, but what you give back when you leave this world is more important. This was taught when we were very, very young. In our formation years in the schools they used to teach. I really wonder what is happening in the schools these days. If the teachers have that kind of wisdom apart from the notebook and textbook, to teach children all these things in today's time, because I don't think there are any
Some
with that
teachers
kind of
do.
wisdom.
Some teachers do.
The older generation I can vouch for, but the current
Even this
one I'm not
generation,
sure.
they
If they
are.
follow, I'll be very,
We
very,
both
very
are
happy.
in that group.
I'll be very, very, very happy.
We
if it
both
is
are
happening.
we both are in that group, and
Yeah,
we
I
do
know,
it. So
I
there
know.
are some like us.
So it
We know
it would be a
students who we
pleasure.
trained who do that.
It's considered uncool these days. Not so cool people. It's okay. I don't want to be cool. I want to be hot. Is that accepted? So I love this song. I love this song. Taking that subject which is so rooted, deeply rooted in India. I felt instantly connected to the song. Though I had a confusion in the middle when he said that on Sunday the preacher read the Bible to us and told us the story. This is what I learned. Probably it's the sermon that he's talking about. And then the Bible was handed to my mother who read it. So I got confused whether that was his mother on the bus or it's talking about some other woman.
That is where I come in and explain that bit to you.
Yes, thank you.
What happened is probably that accident
Uh-huh.
impacted the life of the hooker,
Uh-huh.
and she turned her life around,
Okay.
giving birth to kids who then
Wow.
became the priest.
Okay.
And she handed him the Bible.
Alright, now this gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, so that is how the change happened.
Okay.
Because the priest, while he was dying, he said, here's my Bible, the preacher.
Okay.
So this is how the life changed.
Wow.
If I've got it right, I hope I have. So basically she grew up, or she became older, and she gave the Bible to her son, who is now the priest.
Wow.
So that is how life changes. When you do good deeds, it can change a person's life in an instant.
That's how you make music, by the way. You can change so many people's life only with a song.
I hope I'm right, because I usually am about such things. I love such songs. That is why I was raised on country music. I'm so grateful to my siblings who, if it wasn't for them, I know they may not be watching this reaction, but one of them does. One of them
Yeah.
does, most of them. And she will pass on the message to the others in America and Canada and UK. They are in different parts of the world, all four of them. But what I would like to say is that without you, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be able to analyze the music. I may be wrong at times. Definitely, I may be wrong in this song. But the fact is, the fact that I got to hear all those thousands of songs, thanks to your pocket money, thanks to your investments, for free I got to hear it. If it wasn't for them, my siblings, my uncles, a couple of aunts, and my parents, of course, who always supported us to do all these things, participate in such hobbies which enriched our personality and our lives, and leave a better legacy behind than most other people can. And we are doing it. All of us are doing it in our own way. That is the beauty of it. So I connected with the lyrics of this song. It's a great request by James in Arizona, AZ Music Lover. I do hope you enjoyed this reaction, and definitely share your insight in the comments below or on our private forum. Definitely you know where to go and what to do, and it would really help everyone else come and listen to this song as well as watch our reaction to it. These are the songs that can change lives, and change lives in a positive way, not in a negative way.
The purpose of our reactions, initially when we started it off itself, we kept on saying it. And to people who have forgotten the purpose of our reactions, is we wanted to add value to the people who come and watch our videos. We don't just want to be seen just like any other reaction channel and then you go on to somebody else and somebody else for the sake of it. If you don't gain anything out of the reactions, it's a bad job done on our part. And I loved it.
On that note, we bid you farewell. Thank you so much for your time and your support in this reaction. Goodbye.